So we saw some interesting things from Sony at their E3 conference. We saw some God of War gameplay. We saw a little bit of the new Uncharted DLC, Lost Legacy, the Horizon Zero Dawn expansion, the Frozen Wilds, some Days Gone gameplay, and some very, very interesting games. And some definitely some positive things about Sony's conference.
Yeah, yeah, there was definitely a lot. There. Well, in my personal opinion, this is just me. There were little positives, but man, they were missing some things, and these were the kind of negatives that kind of, you know, stuck out in my mind, if you
Right.
will. Um, with the, of course, like we talked about in our previous video, with the announcement of the new Xbox One X, and it's coming up launch in November, you figure that maybe Sony would kind of backfire a little bit. Like maybe, since PS4 Pro's out, maybe they, would do a price drop, but that was never mentioned. And maybe it's just too soon. Maybe they're going to try and make as much money off the Pro for, I guess, the holiday season, and then they'll probably do a price drop then. Who knows? But also, we didn't see any Last of Us 2 gameplay or demo.
Right.
And we also didn't see any footage of Kojima's Death Stranding, which of course he did announce before, like the day before or before E3 even started, that he would be there, but nothing was going to be shown as far as gameplay or a demo of
Right.
Death Stranding. So, but you know how Kojima is, he likes to surprise people and stuff. So I kind of figured that he's kind of pulling our leg, but nope. So far, nothing. And also, there was not much on, COD, Call of Duty World War II. I mean, they showed a little trailer for it and stuff, but as far as like going into more detail, like about multiplayer, the storyline more, giving us some gameplay footage, that was not mentioned. And I was kind of not really pleased with the lack of. There wasn't that many exclusives, you know.
Right.
So that's were the cons that stuck out to me.
Yeah. The whole event for Sony this year was pretty unique because the president was there. Sean Layden. It didn't really look like he brought any friends with him,
Right.
any coworkers, any assistants, anything. He came out and gave a short speech. He left. They showed a bunch of footage for like an hour. He came back, gave another little speech. They showed some more stuff, and that was it. And it had been reported previously that Sony's president has talked about these events and things and how they're not exactly something that he looks forward to particularly. That he sees the value in them, but it's almost like now these these gatherings are being looked at as less and less of, say, like an expo in another industry where they get together and show off the technology and developers and designers and everything coming together, and
Right.
more of a kind of a fan event,
Yeah, like
which
Super
is
Bowl.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is kind of a change from what it used to be, at least perceived as.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it used to, like when E3 first started, it used to be all about business.
Right.
You had your, like you were talking about, your game developers and publishers, and they would come about, and you had very limited access to the general public. But now it's just became open to everyone, and it's kind of went away from the business aspect to the gamer.
Right.
And and I think that maybe Sony is probably banking on VR to compete.
Hmm.
Considering that Xbox, they they have not mentioned anything like as far as lean towards VR.
Right.
So I think that's what uh, Sony is banking on is VR because they did show off a few VR games that are getting ready to come out. I know the big one that we seen was Elder Scrolls. VR. And that's huge because I was waiting for them to do that, but I didn't think that we'd see it so soon, just considering that we just now got Morrowind, the new DLC. So when I seen that, I was like, oh wow, okay, well, that's cool. So maybe that's what they're hoping for. I mean, the VR they're doing really well with it. So who knows, man? It was just a really, really, like you said, a unique conference for Sony.